Howdy, friends. Have you enjoyed streaming your local football games? Do you want to watch the games from your living room? Well, don't worry about it. Well, you got to come to Spectrum. You want instant replay? We ain't got that. Do you like to know how many minutes are left in the game? We don't tell you. What down is it? That's none of your business. You want to buy the game early? We don't let you. How many yards to go? You don't need to know that. Are you sick of how the NFL films games with multiple cameras? One camera's plenty. And it has a rain stain on it. What do you need more than one camera for? How many eyes you got? Do you often wonder, did they catch that pass? You won't know because we ain't gonna show you again. One football, one camera. Are you annoyed that there's a trophy ceremony? Me too. We don't show it. We hear you complaining about the buffering. We're a cable company. We can't provide internet. We're gonna blame your internet anyway. We have a monopoly, so you have no choice. You gotta buy. We don't have to offer service. We're Spectrum. We ain't got that. Welcome to Tiger Talk, episode 34. I am your host, Scott Ryan.
And I'm your co-host, Becca Moore, along with Coach Nate Moore. And today we have Cody Fair.
I'm so glad Cody is here because I, for once, took notes. Recently, I haven't been taking notes, but I'm like, you know what? We're coming down to the end of the season. Maybe I should start preparing. There's been 34 of these. And one of mine is Cody Fair as a note. Because, Cody, tell us how people can help you with the Rivals Scholarship.
So basically, all you have to do is go on Great American Rivalry Series online, and there's links posted all around. And you just have to vote. If you vote for me, you can vote as many times as you want. And if I get top 25 in the voting in the country, then I get an additional scholarship on top of the one I already got.
Awesome. And how many, you say top 25, how many kids are you competing with?
I'm not 100% sure. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot. I looked, it's a lot. But it's like, remember, it's student athlete. You know, that's what you're voting for. You're voting for a student athlete. So that's why I retweeted it. And I think it's important that everybody understands this is a student athlete scholarship. You know, it's not just about how great he is on the field, it's how great he is off the field, you know, and I think that's important to remember.
Did you just retweet it or did you also vote?
I voted too.
Okay.
Yeah. You can vote once a day, I think, actually.
Sure.
Did you vote?
Of course I
voted. Or
voted.
did you just retweet it?
No, of course I voted.
Oh, okay.
It was the first one.
I just retweeted it.
No.
I voted. And they didn't even ask for that much information because some of those, they ask for your social security number, your mom's maiden name, you got to give a blood sample. On this one, all you had to do was give your email. I think was it. So it was actually pretty easy. And
first name, last name, email, and then you got to vote.
Yeah, and then you just vote it out. And this is a great way to help someone move on to college and also reward academics, which we know is extremely important. So I retweeted it. Coach Moore retweeted it. Nate retweeted it. Look what he did there. And so you guys can find it very easily, and we all voted as well. Cody, what'd you think of the game? How does it feel to be a region champ?
I think it was a good win. We got the job done. I think we played a lot cleaner game this week than we did last week. So that's definitely something we were excited about. They didn't really do a lot of things that we expected them to do, and I think that we played pretty good with what we had, and it feels good to win another game.
Definitely. What's on the table, Becca?
So this is our regional championship trophy, and then the guys eventually, when Coach Moore feels like it, they'll get a regional medal. So I didn't know they did the medals. The guy was like, "Hey, are you Coach Moore's wife? Can you give this to him?" And just handed me the medals. I was like, "Oh, okay. What's this?" So did you get them last year? Did you get medals last year? Yeah. I didn't know they got medals for the regional championship, but cool.
So they have been getting medals forever, Nate?
Not forever.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Recent. This is recent.
this is recent.
I like it. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool. Oh, you
yeah.
don't like it?
I don't know. I mean, why do you need a medal? I mean, it's just regional. It's not the state championship. It doesn't. I mean, you just win a game and you move on to the next. Does everybody get a participation trophy?
No, only the Tigers. We're the only ones that won the region.
No, the others did too. Theirs were silver.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So both
Yeah,
teams got them. Well,
yeah.
that's okay.
They're making up for adding one more game. They're like, here, we'll give you a medal. This is why we added one more game. I don't
Right.
know.
Well, that could be why my tickets this week are $32. That's how much it costs
Oh, for
for
two or for
for,
one?
for Jen and I to go. $32, and for students it's $12. It should be $2. When I was in high school, it was $2 to go to a football game. I'd have to work 4 hours at Arby's to make $32.
12. There's $12 for students.
Yes, that's too
Can
expensive.
students
That's
afford
ridiculous.
that? That's a
Oh,
lot,
that's a
isn't it?
lot.
That's a lot. I think that's a lot. Yeah, I didn't know it was. That's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, of course we don't care and we're gonna go, but it's a bad system where you could stay at home and pay $9.99, but if you go and you're a family of four, it's gonna be like
But
$150.
but you might be delayed if you're paying the $9.99.
Well, that depends if
Or the
people watch
link doesn't work because my mom was freaking out because she couldn't get it to work.
And we are going to get to the game, but I'm glad you brought this up because this is a public service announcement to everyone out there. Listen, Tiger fans, first of all, you should be going to the game. Just don't buy coffee this week and you can pay the money. But if you stay home, stop clicking on bogus links. If it doesn't say Spectrum, it's not real. And Spectrum doesn't put up the link to the Maslin game till 6:52. It starts at 7. All the other games are up there. I'm not making this up. For the last 2 weeks, all the games are up there except Maslin. And in that Maslin Facebook group, you've got all these scammers posting links and everyone's getting scammed. And I'm posting in there, don't post it. I'll post the link when it comes in. This is a scam link. I know that no one cares about the people at home, but there are some old people who can't go to the game, and that's why we stream. And Spectrum should be putting that link out early to stop these people. But
And
Maslin,
maybe turn off the sound. And maybe turn off the sound.
yeah, I mean, whatever. But for serious, stop giving your credit card to scammers. If it's not Spectrum, it doesn't work. Okay, Coach, what'd you think of the game?
Was happy with the way the guys played. We're dominant defensively again, and our offensive line was pretty dominant as well. And our backs and quarterback ran hard, and another great night on special teams as well. So all three phases, really happy.
Is that our first field goal?
It is our first field goal.
Yeah, kind of crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it was a big one too.
You mean where you just went for 3?
A field goal?
Yeah. Where you just
Yes. Scott said, "Was that your first field goal?" And I said, "Yes."
You've never gone for it before and missed it?
This year?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's Vinny's first field goal. That's crazy to be week 14 and get your first field goal.
1 for 1.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. One play that I noticed is Dewan throwing blocks. Do you remember that play? Can either of you talk about it? I mean, how crazy is that? Cody, you nodded. Do you know what play I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm not exactly.
Junior
I think it was Mookie running. I just remember seeing Dewan just like look around and then saw Mookie running, and then he just ran out in front of him and blocked somebody.
He was like, "Follow me!" Like he almost like did like this, because I don't know if like Mookie got caught or he was still up, and it was kind of like I was down in the end zone, and it was kind of like Mookie, like Dewan was like, "Let's go." It was kind of funny, yeah.
I mean, Coach, talk about Dewan blocking. Does that make you so proud to see that teamwork? I mean, it's rare, right, for a quarterback to be out throwing blocks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's rare for the situation to happen. And then, Dewan's he's a strong kid. so he can actually block. So, rare situation that happened, and he was able to throw a block.
The other thing I wrote down is I think in all these episodes, we have never talked about Jameer Gamble, and I don't know why. So we need to give Jameer Gamble some love. I mean, he has had an incredible season. Cody, tell me about Jameer as a teammate.
I mean, he's definitely out of the whole team. He's probably one of the most positive guys, and he's just always smiling. I think he just loves the game, loves Maslin, playing with all of us, and he's just a great guy to be around.
Coach, tell me about Jameer Gamble as a running back.
I mean, Jameer Gamble as a kid first, I agree with Cody. He's probably one of the most positive kids in the locker room. He's the first guy to give you a surprise hug when you're not looking, something like that. He'll sneak up behind you and tap you on your opposite shoulder and go stand on the other side, stuff like that. He's just a fun kid. Does great in the classroom. Great in the hallway. I mean, Jameer's as good a kid as it can get. And he's a good running back. And we kind of had him at some running back and some receiver earlier in the year. And then he became our starting running back pretty late. I want to say week 6 or 7, something like that. The game I remember him really blowing up in was the Fitch game, which would have been week 8. So maybe week 8, 7, 8. And he's closing in on 1,000 yards rushing. He's over 1,000 yards of all-purpose yards, but he's closing in on 1,000 yards rushing. He runs surprisingly heavy and tough for his. He's not a big back, but he runs physically between the tackles, and he possesses great speed. Elite speed, really. And he's already got an offer from Central Michigan, so I'm sure more of those are going to roll in.
We call him Mookie. So his nickname is Mookie. So sometimes when they say Jameer Gamble, I'm like, who? But we call him Mookie. So he is very fast. And he is like definitely a super positive kid. He's always encouraging the other kids, and he's always smiling. Between watching him, and I was telling Nate earlier, I said he runs smiling sometimes. If you're close enough on the field to see it, you can see it. Like, he's so happy to be running. And then Jaden Williams, like, he's on the kickoff return kickoff return. I told him, I said, every time Jaden Williams hits somebody, he kind of giggles when he gets up. Like, he just giggles like, I got you. And then he walks off the field. It's so funny. Like, when you get to witness some of those things down there, because Bill Garman, I think, was taking a picture, and he's like, did he just giggle? We were all like, did he just giggle when he tackled that kid? So we have some really awesome kids on this team. It's been, I know we're at week 14, but I just feel like each week the kids are really having fun. The hard work, they're very, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're all they're focused in. This was actually the quietest I think it's ever been on the bus ride that we've gone on. And no movie was playing, no pump up video or anything. Everybody was they got on the bus and they were locked in. So it was different this week than I think it has been in other weeks. It was definitely more focused.
And I'm just wondering, if the season ends on the highest note, can I give Nate a surprise hug? That's what I'm wondering. Don't answer that question, Nate. We'll find out. But there was one problem with this game that I got to bring up, unfortunately. As our viewers know, we go all the way back to the very first Tiger Talk of this season. Nate asked me, because I had to answer every damn question this year, because Becca scratched my face off on her face off on the dice. Nate asked me about intentional grounding, and I said, I think my answer now is if it's the other team, it's fine, and if Maslin does it, it's a penalty. We now get a point.
Sounds like Section 14.
And we kind of saw this week in green that I was correct, Nate, because, I mean, they never got called on intentional grounding, and that one was most definitely intentional grounding. So I'm taking my point back on one, which means Becca and I tied the team. There is no intentional grounding on the other team that Masslin's playing. It only applies to Maslin. So congratulations, Becca. We tied. Tell me about Thanksgiving. What happens when you have to practice on Thanksgiving, Nate?
We'll practice in the morning on Thanksgiving. We've also invited all of our Maslin alumni, Maslin Tiger football alumni, to come out to practice and sit in the stands and enjoy practice.
And they come.
We'll take a football alumni photo after practice with the guys, and just want to open it up to those people that have put so much into the program, and hope they come out on their Thanksgiving and enjoy some Tiger football.
And did you say alumni and hosts of internet shows?
You can come, Scott.
Yeah. Because I'd like to interview some of the players maybe for next week's Tiger Talk. That would be interesting if they want to. So very good. Yeah. I mean, just internet talk show hosts and alumni. I think that's exclusive enough at that point. But I mean, it is a privilege to play practice on Thanksgiving, Cody, right? Like that's kind of a cool thing to still be playing at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had we practiced last year on Thanksgiving. It was my first time, and I like it. You go morning practice, get to hang out with your teammates, practice, and then in front of all those people, and then after you just get to enjoy Thanksgiving with your family,
Just
watch
get to
some
eat.
Football. Yeah,
Eat and sleep.
it's a good day.
Okay, so yeah, those are all my notes. Did anyone else have anything else about
Well, do you know what's exciting? Do you know why I like to practice on Thanksgiving? Because then Nate is happy when he comes home for the Thanksgiving dinner. So that makes it good. And then on Friday, we get to eat at the Amish door, which you know what that means. Everybody on the bus was like peanut butter, and then some of us were like pies. So that's why I like Thanksgiving, because I know what comes the next day.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some good eating and some good games.
But we've never played in the Crew Stadium, have we? Yeah. We've never played in the Crew Stadium before.
Yeah, I've never been there. I'm super excited about that. And I actually have not really heard of Cincinnati Anderson. So, Coach, what can you tell us about Anderson? I know nothing about them.
Anderson's a high school on the east side of Cincinnati. They won a state title, I think, in 2008, and then went to the state finals in 2009. So they have some recent tradition, or fairly recent tradition of success. They're a good football team this year. They score a ton of points. They're high tempo offensively, run a ton of different formations, and puts a lot of stress on your defense with all that. And then they're kind of multiple formations, everything from 21 personnel, all the way to true empty. Do a lot of different things on special teams. We'll take some risks on special teams. We'll go for it a lot on fourth down, even backed up. And then defensively, odd front, kind of vanilla. We'll blitz on third down, but we'll also play some drop eight, mostly too high quarters coverage variety. So,
did you ever play them when you were down at LaSalle?
No. I was on the staff at Hamilton when we played Anderson. And that would have been, I was at Hamilton 07, 08, 09. And I think we played them in 08 and 09 when they were really good.
So if they score 50 points a game and we score 50 points a game, that means it could be a shootout. We don't know how it'll be, but it could be. So how do you win a shootout? Like a defensive battle, you protect the ball, you try to do field position, things like that. But I was curious, what's the best way to win a shootout?
I mean, we just want to score one more point than the opponent. That's the goal.
We know how to score 1 point.
That's a hard 1 point, but we do know how to do it. Yeah, interesting. But that does remind me of you going for you mentioned them going for it on fourth down. The fake punt that you guys did was so funny for those streaming the game because the one camera, was on the green side and it did turn the broadcast into NC-17, just so you know. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was laughing so hard at home. I mean,
because of it was picking up what their fans
Oh
were
yeah,
saying.
you could hear
yeah,
all of the saying.
yes.
My mom had to turn the volume off. She was like, "They are very nice." That's what she said.
No, I mean, I've seen a lot of games, and I know Massillon fans are not the greatest when you're in a playoff game and you lose. There's always some language, but this was insane. It was like Quentin Tarantino took over and started directing the rest of the game after that. They didn't like your call, is all I'm saying.
I will say Sean Robinson was the one running the ball, and he said it got so loud in the stadium. But I was like, "What is going on?" And he said it was awesome. He said like he was running, and you could like hear the screams like following him as he was running. He said it was the greatest moment of his life. It was so cool. I love Sean.
It was a great call. And it was perfect. I loved it. As we said, you're playing football. You play football till it's over. I mean, do you have anything to say about that call?
I mean, I also thought it was a great call. We converted, and so that the outcome was exactly what we wanted.
I got to take a knee.
I don't know why anybody would be mad about that. I have no idea.
I don't either, especially when I mean, all due respect to Green, the game was over. So
I mean, I don't think we have any obligation to punt or hand them the ball back or
no.
I don't understand the sour grapes.
And then also when you took the knee, you brought Dewan back in. Is that because he's going to take those negative yards? Because when you take a knee, the quarterback takes negative yards, right? Is that what happens?
It depends on your stat guy. Sometimes those get applied to team.
Okay.
Which is what should happen.
I just wondered how that works.
I mean, shouldn't you give your starting quarterback the chance to take the knee because they won the game? It's victory formation.
I didn't care either way. I just was thinking, oh, that was nice. They probably didn't want number 2 to get -5 yards or something. I don't know how this works. I just write things down. This is why I don't take notes all the time. Although you can't see my notes, but whatever. Okay, Cody, tell us what you have to do this week. What do you have to do besides score one more point than everyone else? I mean, for you in your position, what is the defense looking at?
I mean, offensively, they run a lot of they're fast tempo offense, so we got to get lined up really fast and just understand what we're doing before the snap. And I mean, they run a lot of like tricky plays, like they just run screens and they ran trick plays in like almost all their games. So we just have to stay disciplined with like what we're looking at, what we're reading, and just doing our job.
Will you be extra excited that you're playing in the Crew Stadium in Columbus or wherever it is, doesn't matter?
I mean, I'm excited just to like see it and play in like a big stadium like that. And I'm not sure if it's grass or not. Is it grass?
It's turf.
Turf? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a good experience just to play in a place I've never played in before, so I'm excited.
I'm glad it's there instead of one year we were at where was it? The Catholic school.
Hannah.
Yeah, and it was like Nate had me like time
the sales.
The sales, like he had me time how long it took to walk, and it was like 3 minutes to walk from the locker room to the field. So they lost like 6 minutes, of time where they're, you know, readjusting and stuff. And then we all like, we had to like line up with our our lights off our phones because it was like so dark too. So I'm glad that, you know, they're getting to play in a place that hopefully is better facilities for everybody.
Yeah, I would think it's going to be a cool place. I'm very excited. I've never been there, and I'm coming home. So, you know, I'm going to be at the game because I hate streaming them. It's horrible. And so I get to be there and cheer. And I'm just so excited. Thank you guys for this season and everything you've done. And let's keep rolling. And I love it. I'm just very excited. And I'll bring the turkey on Thanksgiving because I'm going to the football practice, going to the football practice.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. Until next week, TIG.
ERS.